So what's it really like living in a beach town? Is it all sunshine, ocean breezes, and pina coladas?
Or is there more to the story? Stick around and we'll tell you the real deal about living here at the beach. When I moved here, I thought that every day would feel like vacation, and in many ways, it does.
But then you realize there's a flip side. The crowds in peak season, the cost of living, the storm prep, all of those things truly become a reality check. So here we are in beautiful Venice Beach. You can see right behind us. If it's our first time meeting, I'm Lanir and this is Caleb. We're both realtors here in the Venice, Florida and surrounding area.
And we help buyers just like you every single day find and buy beautiful homes here in Florida so you can live that Florida beach life.
So you've been dreaming of living that never-ending summer, going on that perpetual vacation, but wondering what it's truly like to live in a beach town. Is it like a vacation, or is it something that no one's talking about? Well, I can tell you, just like you, I had the same motivations. I moved from Maryland. I couldn't take another cold, gray winter. I suffered from seasonal blues. I felt my body aching, and I always wondered what it would be like to live that never-ending summer. So I channeled my inner Clark Griswold. I packed the bags, got the family into the car, and headed south with the idea to make it our final destination. But does it feel like a vacation when you move down here? Well, for me, it certainly does. Every day is like a dream. I have to pinch myself. The smell of salt air, the ability to start my days, whether it's playing basketball at the local park or coming to the beach with my wife as she does Pilates or yoga, or maybe an impromptu sunset with the family. There's something truly special and unique about living this beach life, and it truly is a vacation every day.
I know for me, I was much like Lanir. I couldn't handle the winter blues anymore. I woke up and went to work in the dark. I came home in the dark, and it was like I never even existed during the winter. There was no sunlight in my life, and I just simply had enough. I needed to get somewhere where I could truly enjoy that full kind of summertime life all year long, and that's what we had down here. So my family, we came down here many different times on vacations. We brought the kids down, wanted to see if they'd like it and if it was something that they would really embrace, and without a doubt, they did immediately. They wanted to move, they encouraged us, they were 100% in, so we made the leap, and I'm telling you, we haven't looked back for even 1 second. Sunny days make me happy, and I'm sure it will the same for you.
Just to put things in perspective, here we are working. This is what we do for a living, real estate and videos. And here we are in one of the most beautiful beaches. This is the shark tooth capital of the world. This is where people come here and go all day long raking for some prehistoric shark teeth and beautiful shells. But there's so much more than living in a beach town that often gets overlooked. There's something about that rhythm, that vibe, that beautiful sense of relaxation that everyone embraces. Many people are transient. There probably aren't many people who have lived, who are here originally, original descendants of Florida. There are some, you'll know who they are. They're the ones who told you how much the place has changed. But change is inevitable, and with change comes beautiful promise. I myself have found more than what I was looking for, more than what I expected. I not only feel younger, I not only feel rejuvenated. There's something about having gratitude, being immersed in nature, being able to see all the beautiful flora and fauna. This is Zone 10A. Any seed you throw out in there is gonna grow, it's gonna flourish, fruit trees galore, but there's something that you really take into consideration. It's being part with nature, having all the beautiful hues of blues and greens emanating off that emerald coast. It's absolutely motivating, but I don't spend my every day at the beach. How about you, Caleb?
No, you simply can't do that. Lanir and I are still working, obviously. We're realtors, but we can't do it as much as, maybe you're going to be able to. We're still working, and if you're a retiree that's considering moving to the area, you're literally going to be able to live our dream lives. Be able to wake up in the morning, go on those awesome morning walks before the sun gets nice and hot, and then you slide over to the beach and enjoy a nice sunny day there, finish out your morning, maybe go back to the house, regroup, get ready, go out to lunch and enjoy yourself, maybe a little light shopping, and then just go, just enjoy the rest of the day, finish it off with a nice dinner and then a sunset walk. It just has everything down here, and that's the dream life that I subscribed to when I was planning my trip, And I'm telling you, we're able to have that option any day we want. We can go do those
Now,
things.
depending where you are in life financially, where you are, whether you're a retiree or family, this can mean something different for many. It's not a one size fits all, but if you subscribe to living that never ending summer, being outdoors, 300 days plus of sunshine, being able to see your kids live the life that you once lived back in the day, riding bikes till the sun comes down and those street lights come on, if you have street lights in your neighborhood. And there's something magical about the stars at night. It's something that you really learn to appreciate. But what we've learned is this is not for everyone. I've heard things from people saying that, I've moved down here to live that vacation life only to find myself working harder to sustain, because that's really what it comes down to. It's not all sunshine and lollipops and rainbows. There are some cons. There is a price to live in paradise. Let's talk about some of those things, because we like to be fully transparent that there are some things you have to take into consideration.
The number one thing, I say it's the elephant in the room, and that is the extreme weather and heat. It happens down here. But the beauty of the situation is the homes down here are built for it. They can withstand it. They're all concrete block construction with hurricane tie downs on their roofs. So the homes that we like to sell, those newer construction, like down in Wellen Park, those homes are literally fortresses, and you don't have much to worry about. Yeah, you may have a slip tile or a few little damaged tiles depending on your roof surface. You may have some small trees that get bent over during those major weather events. But the reality is, most of these homes are out of the flood zone. They've planned for it. They have incredible water, kind of how they deal with the water, whether it's preserves or those lakes, to really deal with it and manage that water. It's fine, and you can absolutely get through those tough winters and those hurricanes that are tough to get through. It's a psychological thing that a lot of people really, they're scared of, but the reality is we've been through 3 at this point. We've been fine. The area has improved, it rebounded after it, and everything's great again.
Now, to be fully transparent, anytime there's an announcement of a hurricane, I do get a little bit nervous. I am an overthinker. I don't like taking risks when it comes to the safety of my family. And although we've sustained minimal damage over the 3 storms, we already planned. We have 3 different locations within Florida that we have as backups to go visit. I just like the peace of mind. More frankly, I don't like being without Wi-Fi. I like my shows. I like my relaxation. I love my Netflix and Stranger Things. So I'm just someone who appreciates conveniences. But if you're smart and you're a planner like Caleb, you're going to have a generator at home. You're going to have all your hurricane windows, your impact windows, and we're going to place you in that appropriate home so you don't have any concerns. The only concern would be is how quickly can you get food delivery once the storm is over. But what we've also learned is that when people move down here, you have to set your expectations appropriately. Are you coming here to work? Are you coming here with kids? Are you coming here to feel like a vacation? Or you're coming here to start a second leg in life and start a new business? Those are all considerations, and I can tell you what you look for is what you're going to get. So pre-planning is extremely important. That's where Caleb and myself, we come in. We're not only new construction experts, we're relocation experts. We help families move all the time with all different types of scenarios. Some of them are used to those commercial amenities, abundance of restaurants and shops. Some of them want complete escapism, and some of them want something in the middle. The beautiful thing about this particular beach area is you have something for everyone. You want rural, you want beachfront without seeing anything but dolphins and seagulls. You can get that. Certainly there's a price. They're right there. They're certainly right. But you want something with all the commercial conveniences, but not too far from the beach. We have great solutions, like Caleb mentioned, Wellen Park, that 6th fastest selling master plan community with all the top developers, gated communities with robust amenities, a beautiful central downtown, but just a hop, skip, about 15, 20 minutes to the beach. And with some of the new road openings, some of those neighborhoods will be only about 7 or 8 minutes. And this is an area where you get everything. You want culture? Where do they go for culture?
And you can head up to Sarasota. There's 10 theaters or more? No, I think there's 20 theaters.
There's 13 theaters within a 1 mile radius.
Yeah, so there's tons of things that go up there, whether you want to go out to a Zagat rated or a Michelin star restaurant, head up there. You have options. It's just a great place, calm down here, that kind of old Florida feel. That's what Venice and Inglewood have, but just a stone's throw away up in Sarasota and Tampa, if you want to go that far. You have everything you want from a cultural standpoint, museums, a little bit of everything, so you can just enjoy the beach life and the city life, and they're almost next door to each other.
in that nice compromise in the middle, a little bit of old with the restaurant. Something really romantic is that downtown historic Venice Island. Just got off the phone with a client who's used to a very commercially robust area, but Venice, the charm, that history, those 1920 Mediterranean style homes that surround all of that island is just something so exceptional, such a unique experience. But there is really something for everyone. But what you have to take into account is this is beach life. Things move a little bit slower here. We're not on normal time. You know, calling for service, calling for an Uber, getting a tradesman. There are some things that really work on beach time, or some people call it Caribbean time. It's something you have to subscribe to, but where you make up for it, you don't have to sit idle and wait and be bored. There's so much to do. Let's talk about some of the lifestyle activities that come along with living in a warm climate like this.
Well, literally, pretty much you can walk anywhere. You know, there's walking paths all over the place. We have, you know, you can bike. There's great bike paths. We have all around this area, whether it's on the Venetian Waterway or taking the trail up to
the Legacy Trail.
The Legacy Trail up to Sarasota. You can go all the way from Northport to Sarasota on your bike. How great is that? Plus, there's all the different sports that we have. We have pickleball, tennis, bocce ball. Then you get to the outdoor water sports. We have kayaking. You can paddleboard. You can go rent a boat. A lot of people don't think about that. They go, oh, I need to go. When I move to Florida, I'm going to buy a boat. Don't buy a boat down here. There's boat clubs you can join where all you get to do is enjoy the good parts of boating and none of the responsibility of it. You don't have to take that boat out and clean it. If you're from up north, you know about winterizing your boat. None of that happens down here, but a boat club will allow you to just simply bring your fun, bring those bags, pop them on the boat, go out for a day, and then when you're finished, you grab those bags and walk away, and you don't have to do anything for that boat. So there's just great options, activities, and options for all of those everywhere.
But if you are someone who wants to own the boat, want to have the liberty of just going out to your backyard and jumping your boat, there's amazing opportunities. We actually have a great listing right now that will show somewhere up in the screen that really lives and screams that true boater's life right on the Mayaka River. But the beautiful thing about when you're in an area that's warm and you have all of these unique green spaces, whether it's in that urbanized setting of historic downtown or that downtown Sarasota area, or new master plan communities like Wellen Park, or that #1 multi-generational master plan community up in Sarasota in Manatee County called Lakewood Ranch, there are green spaces embedded within the community. Historically, this was a retiree town where people came here to golf, escape, have an intellectual conversation, you know, meet at the 19th hole, eat some great burgers and steaks, and talk about what a great day they had on the course. But it's become so much more than that. Now it's multi-generational, where you have grandfather and grandchild going on the golf course together, or jumping in that boat, hitting that beautiful golf, going together for sunset dinners at Pop Sunset Grill or Finn's or Sharky's on the pier. There is something unique and special, but I think the one thing that often gets overlooked and doesn't get talked about enough, we all believe in tradition. I personally believe in the great American vacation. I talk about it to Caleb ad nauseum. It's something I romanticize. You know, coming here from, you know, moving from a different country, being originally an immigrant to this country, there was something so dreamlike about living that vacation. Of course, Clark Griswold was my motivation, but there's something special about tradition, about watching families from small grandchildren to great grandparents all together, subscribing to that same lifestyle, slowing down, taking in that fresh air, looking at the beautiful views, and just appreciating the simpler things in life, family and community. And speaking of community, we have a really cohesive community. Not only do we have incredible school systems, let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah, Sarasota County is home to the #1 school systems in all of Florida. We have brand new schools being built. We have 2 brand new schools that are going to be opening up next year. One right around the corner from us, that's at Wellen Park High School. Super excited. It's brand spanking new, and it's huge, and it's going to be incredible.
But something I think Caleb could speak on with more experience, because his kids attended Venice High School. Venice High School is a really good example, a picturesque example, almost movie-like, of what it feels like to have a school on an island in a coastal town. It's something magical. I mean, this school is a football spectacle. Friday night lights, everyone shows up and shows out. It really is an incredible sports town, but there's something unique about having a school along that coast, along the Venetian Waterway. You know, you've been to many games. Your son played football there.
It's an environment that I can't really describe. We came from Maryland. Yeah, football was something special, but it was nothing like what it is down here. You know, the school has No, I don't want to say that they recruit because they are not allowed to do that, but there are, on average, I believe 30 to 40 transfers that come to Venice High School every single year just to be a part of that football program. It's a really special place. Their stadium, they won the state championships last year. They're going to be redoing that whole stadium, so it's going to be even more of a spectacle than it once was. There's cannons firing off, lights blaring, the band's going, thousands of people there. It's just something, you have to see it for yourself, and I encourage anyone to go down there and watch a Friday night game. If you're fortunate enough to be that they're playing, they're in town when you're in town, it's something you have to do. So it's an experience like nothing else.
Yeah, some of the other extracurricular activities that students get to do down here that you don't often think about in a metropolitan hub, but in a beach town, it's definitely an option. You have sailing classes, you have crew and rowing, where they can go right out in the Gulf or the Bay and compete daily. This is something truly special. But you know, with all of this beautiful stuff, with all the nature, there certainly are some difficulties and some challenges. We talked a little bit about that hurricane weather. Let's talk about some of the heat and humidity. You know, just to give you an idea, that mid-June to about end of September, maybe the first week of October is our humid season where things really ramp up. You know, temperatures can be, you know, in the mid-90s, humidity around that 85-90%. It is absolutely exhausting if you're not used to it. What I implore you to do is, if you're considering making that leap of faith and not just snowbirding, but living year-round, visit during those dog days of summer. See if you can handle it. I personally, myself, I love it. It gets my bones moving. My wife, she's adverse to heat, but we found a couple of things that, one, you adjust. It's a scientific fact. Your blood adjusts. You get used to that heat. You find yourself freezing when things are sub 65 degrees, grabbing your college sweater that doesn't fit, but you feel nice and snug. But those are things to take in consideration. We have volatile weather, but with that volatile weather, that upside is the beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, and one of the, just trying to stay on some of the cons here, one of the things that a lot of people hear it all the time, people in our comments, they're mentioning it, but what about insurance? Is it possible to get insurance in Florida? And I can tell you, it's absolutely not a problem whatsoever. But the key is you have to use two realtors. That's what we do, is we give you the advice you need so we minimize your risk. You're not from this area. You don't know where the risk is, where those flood zones are. That's our specialty. We're only going to put you in a home that very much minimizes your risk, and therefore you're going to be able to get a great rate on your insurance. We also have great insurance agents that we work with to help you out. They're not salesmen, just like Lanir and I. We're not salesmen. We're not doing what's best for us. We're always concerned with what's right for you. And the referrals that we give, like our insurance agent that we like to refer, he has that exact same mindset, that he does what's best for you, not what's best for him. And I think that's important to mention.
You know, one thing happens with insurance, of course, with all the sensationalism, the mass media, the over communicating of it, it's really become this big monster. And really what it comes down to is the individual home and that plan you have, the integrity of the home, those major components, the roof, the AC, the bones, is that structure in place? And that's where Caleb and I, our expertise, really come into play. We're going to match you up with that appropriate home. We're going to make sure that there aren't any liabilities. Now, if you desire to live on a beachfront, if you're willing to take a little bit of that risk, there's some great opportunities. There's a lot of newer homes going up over on that Siesta Key. You know, a lot of those older homes, they were exposed. Their integrity was compromised simply because they were older. They weren't up to code. So don't be afraid. We're not in this town that's going underwater, literally and figuratively. It's just the unfortunate reality that nature is shifting. It's always going to shift. It's unpredictable, but what we can predict is finding you the right person, the right home, and the right insurance quote. That way you're not getting any surprises when it comes to numbers. But there's so many upsides. There's so many considerations. It's not a sprint. It's certainly a marathon. So if you start to consider making that move, what I encourage you to do is reach out to Caleb and myself. Our information is right below, whether it's emailing, texting, setting up a Zoom so we can meet virtually face-to-face, so we hit that ground running. We want you to live that same life that we live. We want you to be able to get up and enjoy the simpler things in lives, get your body moving, get rejuvenated. Whether you're a family starting fresh, want to hit that reset button, or you're a retiree trying to hit that rejuvenation stage, because certainly retirees here are not built the same as anywhere else. They're active, they're moving, they're out in the pickleball courts, they're golden brown, they look great, they feel it, they feel young, and that's part of that beauty of the harmonious multi-generational aspect that we're experiencing here. You know, pre-pandemic, it was all retirees. Now it's something special. It's so much more, but it's still a quiet, quaint beach town, which I encourage you to come visit. It is absolutely exceptional, from the Shark Tooth capital here all the way up to Siesta Key, where we have the #1 beach in America, #4 beach in the country. There is so much more. So when you're getting down here, when you're trying to figure it out, we're going to explore the whole coast. We're going to help you figure out what that lifestyle you're looking for, right? Subjectivity of lifestyle is that value that we're always harping on, that we always understand. That is the deciding factor. It's not always just budget.
Yeah, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. It really comes down to what lifestyle do you want to live, and then we try to find the perfect home to accommodate and make that lifestyle happen. It's all about that.
Now, one last thing to talk about when you're living in the beach town, there is a rhythm to it. Remember, we have peak season, we have snowbird season, which is a phenomenon. It's where Canadian snowbirds come down during the cold winters to escape the freezing cold up there. And, you know, it's certainly become a phenomenon beyond Canadians, where everyone sees the value in visiting here during the winter. And it gets busy, traffic gets heavier, it's lively. For me, my perspective, I love the energy. But for others, that traffic can be a little bit of a pain point, a little bit of a headache, so to speak. But then you have the summer. Everything just drops off, right? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, pretty much, you know, in April is when most of those snowbirds are going to go back north or back west or wherever they came from. And then May, right where we are right now, things are starting to slow down and become that beach feel again. Easier to get into the restaurants, the roads have opened up, so travel is much easier to do. You're not 20 deep at your traffic light, you're more like 2 or 3 deep. So it is seasonal. You know, if you're somebody who's always come down here in January, February, and March, you think it's always packed down here. The reality is, 9 months of the year, it's virtually, I don't want to call it a ghost town, but it's pretty calm and easy to go
Very peaceful.
everywhere, and absolutely peaceful, and a great place to live and raise a family, or just to retire to. Pretty much for everybody, it provides a great place to enjoy life.
So if you want to learn more, you want to see more, we have endless resources. We come out with weekly videos talking about Sarasota, the greater region, all the news developments, lifestyle, housing, everything you need to know to make an informed decision. If you want to be the first to be notified, hit that bell and subscribe, so every time we come out with new resources, you're the first to know. If you know someone considering making that move, please share this resource. It's very valuable, and it's something that can really help them hit this ground running. But we can talk about this till we're blue in the face. There's nothing like living this beach life. There's nothing like raising a family in a beach town. There's nothing like having the grandparents and the friends visit. It's a revolving door. Seeing them fall in love the same way we fell in love with this place is absolutely special. We want you to be a part of it.
And you got to be a part of it. You have to come down here, and the first step is giving us that call so we can start that process. All right, Lanir, I think we've covered everything.
Covered quite a bit. It's probably time to go jump in that water.
Let's do it. All right, so for this week in Venice, Florida, I'm Caleb.
And I'm Lanir.
And we'll see you next week.